Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, replaying old conversations, reliving past emotions, and wondering why you can't just let go? Why does it feel like your heart is chained to someone who may no longer be part of your life? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not hopeless. Emotional attachment can feel like a storm that refuses to pass. It weighs you down, blinds your judgment, and traps you in a loop where pain becomes the new normal. You want to break free, but every attempt feels like pulling against gravity itself. But here's the truth. You can break free. There is a way out, and it begins with something ancient yet revolutionary: Stoic wisdom. In this video, inspired by the timeless teachings of Stoic masters like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, we'll uncover 10 powerful Stoic rules that will teach you how to emotionally detach from someone without losing your heart or your humanity. This isn't about becoming cold or distant. It's about learning to breathe again, think clearly again, and regain your peace of mind. Because when you're emotionally entangled, it's like walking through life with a fog over your eyes. Every step feels uncertain. Every decision is clouded by what ifs and what was. But the Stoics believed in something radically freeing. You are not your emotions. You are not your attachments. You are your mind, and your mind can be trained. Let's begin with a quote by Seneca that cuts straight to the heart of the matter. He who is brave is free. But what does that really mean? Bravery isn't about being unafraid. It's about being willing to face life as it is, not as we wish it to be. Detachment is the courage to stop clinging to what no longer serves us. It's the bravery to let go of the illusions, the fantasies, the unspoken expectations. Detachment is not indifference. It's not apathy. It's strength. It's clarity. It's the inner shift from emotional chaos to calm control. Imagine walking through your day, no longer burdened by the weight of someone else's choices, moods, or absence. Imagine reclaiming your mornings, your thoughts, your joy. That's what detachment can offer you. Not emptiness, but freedom. Picture this. You're finally able to open your phone without the urge to check their status. You stop waiting for a message that never comes. Your mood is no longer held hostage by their silence. Instead, you start focusing on you, your peace, your progress, your purpose. This is the power of Stoicism, not just a philosophy, but a practical path to personal liberation. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's where we begin. When you internalize this Stoic mindset, you stop giving away your emotional energy to things you can't control. You stop chasing after people, outcomes, or validation. And in doing so, you discover a hidden reservoir of strength that's always been within you. Let's be honest. Emotional attachment isn't just painful. It's distracting. It pulls you away from the goals, habits, and relationships that actually align with your highest self. By learning how to detach, you don't lose anything. You gain everything: your focus, your discipline, your dignity. So here's the big question. Are you ready to stop being controlled by your emotions and start leading your life with wisdom and strength? If you are, then this video is for you. We're about to walk through 10 Stoic habits that will guide you step by step toward emotional detachment. These rules are not abstract. They're actionable tools you can use daily to rebuild your mental fortress. We'll begin by asking, what truly matters in your life? Is it the approval of others? Is it clinging to people who no longer value you? Or is it the peace that comes from within? This journey will challenge you, but it will also transform you. So if you're ready to reclaim your power, say it with us in the comments. Emotional freedom starts now. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more Stoic wisdom and practical insights on emotional strength. If this video resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message today. And drop a comment. We'd love to hear your story. Have you ever felt like your emotions are being manipulated, like someone else is pulling the strings behind your mood? Learning to cut those strings and reclaim the remote control to your emotional life. Rule number 1 is all about learning to cut those strings and reclaim the remote control to your emotional life. True transformation begins with a shift in perception. As the philosopher Epictetus wisely observed, we suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. Pause for a moment and let that sink in. The pain, the stress, the heartache, it often doesn't come directly from what happened, but from the meaning we assign to it. Detachment, then, is the art of taking back your power. It means recognizing that while you may never be able to control what life throws at you, you always have the power to choose your response. Think about it. When you hold on too tightly to someone or something, you don't just care about it, you give it power. Slowly it starts to dictate your mood, your thoughts, even your actions. It's like handing someone a remote control to your emotional state and letting them change the channel whenever they like. One minute you feel joy, the next, sadness. And in the worst cases, their influence can drive you toward decisions you might never make on your own. Detachment is reclaiming that remote. Picture this. Your emotions are like a kite, beautiful and light, flying high. But each string tied to a person, a relationship, or a situation becomes a tug in a different direction. If you cling too tightly to one string or try to hold on to them all, you're no longer flying freely. You're at the mercy of the wind. What does Stoicism teach us? It teaches us to let go, to loosen our grip, to accept that while we cannot control the wind, we can choose which strings we hold on to and which ones we release. This way of living doesn't turn you into a cold, detached shell. On the contrary, it grounds you. It makes you resilient, steady, and calm, no longer tossed around by every emotional gust. So how do we practice this in real life? Start simple. Identify what or who you might be too attached to. Be honest. Is it someone whose approval you crave? A relationship you fear losing? A role, a title, or even a version of yourself you're trying desperately to preserve? Then ask yourself, why? Why are you holding on? Are you afraid of being alone? Of losing your identity? Are you chasing validation because you don't feel enough on your own? Finding the root cause of your attachment is the first step to weakening its grip. Awareness is power. Next, redirect your energy. Invest time in things that bring you purpose and fulfillment. Goals, passions, meaningful habits. Anchor yourself in activities that nurture your inner self, not just distract you. When you focus on what's within your control and release what isn't, something powerful happens. You begin to feel stronger, calmer, more at peace. The emotional tug-of-war starts to fade, and you step into a space of clarity and balance. With practice, detachment helps you see the world with new eyes. You begin to realize that your worth was never tied to external things to begin with. It doesn't hinge on how others treat you or what you achieve. It comes from within, and it's unshakable. This realization changes everything. As Seneca reminded us, he who is brave is free. Practicing detachment isn't about stepping away from life. It's about stepping more fully into it, with clarity, with purpose, with a heart that's steady and free. Rule number 2, understanding attachment. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it so hard to let go, even when holding on only brings pain? What is it that makes us grip tighter, hoping things will change, or fearing what might happen if we release? To understand how to emotionally detach, we must first understand what attachment really is. And for that, the Stoics offer timeless guidance. At its core, attachment is not about love or loyalty, it's about the ego. The ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." That quote cuts right to the heart of it. The more we desire, the more we suffer. And the root of many desires, ego. When we become attached to a person, a situation, or even an idea, it often comes from a hidden place inside us that's searching for identity, security, or validation. Instead of finding peace within, we try to borrow it from the outside world, from someone's attention, approval, or presence. Imagine a newborn baby. They live purely in the present moment, filled with joy, free of ego, untouched by the need to prove anything. But as we grow, our ego begins to take control, subtly tying our emotions to things, people, and outcomes. We begin to confuse our worth with what we own, who we're with, or how others perceive us. Think back. Have you ever felt like your happiness depended on someone else's approval, or felt incomplete unless you had something or someone in your life? That's ego at work. That's attachment. So how do we begin to release this grip? The first step is to notice it. Ask yourself, why am I so attached to this outcome? Why do I feel like I can't be okay without this person? What fear or insecurity lies underneath? Once we identify that the attachment is a product of our ego, not our true self, we begin to loosen its hold on us. Now imagine a different way of living. What if you could lead with love, not ego? What if you believe that what's meant for you will come to you, without force, without fear? That shift in mindset changes everything. It means understanding that your value isn't determined by anything outside of you. It means believing that life is abundant, not scarce. And when you truly embrace that belief, something beautiful happens. You stop chasing and you start attracting. You begin to let go, not because you care less, but because you understand more. You understand that clinging only clouds your judgment, that fear of loss keeps you stuck, and that real strength comes from trust. Trust in yourself, in life, and in the natural flow of things. The Stoics weren't cold or emotionless, they were wise. They understood that detachment is not about withdrawing from life. It's about engaging with it fully, without being enslaved by it. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing freedom over fear. And that brings us to the next step in our journey. Rule number 3, accept what you cannot control. We saw how true detachment begins by releasing the grip of ego and letting love, not fear, be our guide. Now we face one of the biggest obstacles on this path, the illusion of control. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, if I just try harder, I can fix this relationship? Or maybe you felt your mood completely shift based on someone else's response, or lack thereof. It's a common trap, and it stems from a powerful misconception. The belief that we can control the actions, feelings, or opinions of others. This illusion of control is one of the biggest barriers to emotional freedom. Our ego, always wanting certainty and approval, often whispers that we can manage how others think, feel, or behave toward us. That if we just say the right words, act the right way, or give more of ourselves, we'll be loved, accepted, or validated. But this only sets us up for disappointment, frustration, and emotional dependence. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus captured this truth perfectly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. These words aren't just wise, they're liberating. They remind us that while the outside world is unpredictable, our inner world is ours to govern. And yet when we fall into the illusion of control, we begin to give our power away. We idolize certain people, elevate their importance, and silently tie our self-worth to their approval. We start seeing them as having something magical we lack, something we must win over to feel complete. But here's the truth. No one holds that kind of power over you unless you hand it to them. Everyone, no matter how confident, attractive, or successful they may appear, is just as human as you are. They too have fears, flaws, and insecurities. When you stop placing others on pedestals, you start to see reality more clearly. You reclaim your perspective and your peace. So how do we begin to dismantle this illusion? First, acknowledge the limits of your influence. Accept that you cannot control other people's thoughts, feelings, or choices, no matter how much you care or how hard you try. This awareness might feel uncomfortable at first, even humbling, but in truth, it's deeply freeing. When you stop trying to manage what's outside your control, you create space to master what is: your attitude, your mindset, your response. That's where your real strength lies. The Stoics teach us that serenity comes not from bending the world to our will, but from aligning ourselves with what is. Let go of the need to control others, and you'll find a deeper connection to yourself, one that no approval, rejection, or outcome can shake. Let's carry this insight into the next lesson. Rule number 4, you don't own anyone, and no one owns you. Continuing from the important lesson about focusing on controlling our own thoughts and reactions, as well as building inner confidence and resilience, let's now explore how to put detachment into practice, a vital step on the path to emotional freedom. We truly can control our thoughts, emotions, and personal growth by gradually shifting our focus inward. Instead of constantly seeking validation from others, practice daily self-affirmation. Remind yourself of your unique strengths and qualities because your value does not depend on anyone else's opinion or judgment. This aligns perfectly with the profound teaching of Emperor Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. When you realize this, you will find true strength in embracing an abundance mindset. The abundance mindset is another highly effective strategy. Understand that the universe is vast and there is plenty of love, success, and happiness to go around for everyone. When you let go of the fear of losing one particular person or outcome, you open yourself up to a world full of new possibilities and opportunities. In relationships, this understanding allows you to love freely without desperate attachment. It empowers you to appreciate connections while maintaining your self-worth and independence. Remember, practicing emotional detachment does not mean becoming indifferent or cold. On the contrary, it means deeply recognizing that your wholeness does not depend on anyone else's presence. By internalizing these Stoic principles, you cultivate profound emotional strength, preparing yourself to face life's uncertainties with grace and calm. Shed the illusion of control and embrace the liberating truth. True power lies within your own mind. Now let's move on to rule number 4, detachment in practice. Have you ever found yourself clinging so tightly to past experiences or relationships that you can't let go? Wondering what would happen if you finally did? This is a common scenario, holding on so tightly it hurts, yet feeling too afraid to release. But what if I told you that letting go could lead to something even better? Let's explore how to practice detachment by drawing on the wisdom of Stoic philosophy. As Epicurus wisely said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This principle applies perfectly to emotional attachment. Are you ready to loosen your grip on the past and make space for new, positive possibilities? Imagine holding on to a rope so tightly that your hands begin to ache. Building on the idea of letting go to open the door to something better, let's dive deeper into the fear that often holds us back and how to overcome it. Sometimes you hold on so tightly to something that your hands start to ache. You're afraid to let go simply because you don't know what will happen next. But here's the truth. Letting go doesn't mean you will fall. Sometimes it means you can finally stretch your hands out and reach for something even better. I learned this lesson the hard way when I clung to a comfortable relationship because it felt safe. not realizing that I was closing the door to potential happiness, happiness that was knocking at my own door. How many times have you done the same, afraid to let go of what you know for fear of the unknown? Here's another truth bomb. The fear of missing out, or FOMO, is a trap. It's like watching everyone else's highlight reel on social media while you think you're missing out on life. But remember, social media is a curated, filtered snapshot meant to showcase perfect moments. Once I stopped scrolling through everyone else's stories and started living my own life, FOMO lost its grip on me. Do you find yourself constantly comparing your life to others? It's time to break free from that cycle. Not knowing every detail of someone else's life doesn't mean you're missing out. It means you're fully present in your own life, creating memorable moments that belong uniquely to you. Attachment to a false image of happiness can make letting go seem impossible. You see others living their best lives and fear you're falling behind. But remember, the grass only looks greener from a distance. Up close, it has its share of brown patches too. Creating an illusion of perfection in someone else's life steals joy from your own. It's like running on a treadmill trying to catch up to a hologram. No matter how fast you go, you'll never reach it because it's not real. Detachment isn't about giving up happiness. It's about defining it on your own terms. To emotionally detach, follow the Stoic principle of focusing on what's within your control, your thoughts, your actions, your growth. It's empowering to realize that no one's opinion, no past relationship, not even a shiny filtered life on social media has the power to define your worth or your happiness. This realization becomes your armor, helping you stand strong against life's challenges. Let's look ahead, moving forward unburdened by unnecessary attachments, ready to embrace life with all its unpredictable wonders, and open to the genuine, fulfilling connections waiting just around the corner. Remember, letting go is not an ending. It's a bold step toward the life you truly deserve. Rule number 5, the path to happiness. Have you ever wondered why true happiness often feels just out of reach? Are we tethered to the whims of others or external circumstances? But what if the key to lasting happiness lies within you, independent of anyone else's influence? In this section, we'll explore the Stoic path to happiness and how emotional detachment can lead to a deeper, more resilient joy. Where does true value come from? This question, when answered, can steer us away from unnecessary attachments and toward emotional freedom. As Epictetus wisely said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This profound insight directs us to look inward rather than outward for our sense of worth and happiness. Understanding this is especially crucial when the challenge is to detach from someone. It's not about severing ties with malice or indifference, but about recognizing that the most profound companionship you will ever have is the one with yourself. True value, as it turns out, stems from within, your character, your wisdom, and how you treat others. How often do we mistakenly believe that our happiness is locked in someone else's presence in our lives, that our worth rises with their approval or falls with their neglect? This mindset chains us, shrinking our vast potential to the whims of another. Imagine a bird believing it needs permission to fly. We limit our emotional skies. Now imagine instead realizing that the sky has always been wide open, waiting for you to spread your wings on your own terms. This self-reliance is liberating. It teaches us that our value does not fluctuate with others' opinions or presence. Therefore, detachment isn't about pushing someone away. It's about drawing ourselves closer to our true essence. By focusing on personal growth and becoming the best version of ourselves, we break free from the shackles of meaningless attachments. Building on the idea of emotional freedom and inner liberation from before, let's now explore how to maintain lasting emotional strength despite unnecessary attachments. Letting go of neediness is much like tending a garden. You don't beg a single flower to bloom. Instead, you nurture the soil, water the plants, and trust the natural process. When you focus on self-improvement, you cultivate a garden that flourishes no matter who passes by or admires its beauty. This garden becomes a source of happiness that is independent, resilient, and deeply fulfilling. So, how do we walk this path of emotional detachment? It begins with understanding that you are already complete, with or without someone else's validation. Your journey is about discovering the vast sky inside you and learning to cherish the freedom that comes from flying solo when necessary. Embrace Stoic wisdom by focusing on what's within your control, your thoughts, your actions, and your growth. This doesn't mean shutting your heart or ignoring love and connection. Rather, it means anchoring your emotions firmly in the solid ground of your own being. Remember, your self-worth isn't a puzzle missing someone else's piece. It's a masterpiece in progress, whole as it is, yet open to receiving more beauty from the world around it. Rule number 6, embrace the present moment. Do you often find yourself caught up in memories of the past or worries about the future? Living fully in the present is a powerful way to emotionally detach and find inner peace. This practice is deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, encouraging us to appreciate the here and now instead of being consumed by what's already gone or what might be. Marcus Aurelius, the renowned Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "Confine yourself to the present." This statement captures the essence of Stoic wisdom, the importance of focusing on the present moment. When you dwell on the past, you may find yourself reliving painful experiences or holding on to things that no longer exist. Similarly, worrying about the future often creates unnecessary anxiety over events that haven't happened and might never happen. Both habits prevent you from experiencing the richness of the present. Practicing mindfulness is an effective way to fully embrace the present moment and live it to the fullest. Continuing from the idea of embracing the present moment, mindfulness is key. It means paying close attention to your current experience without judgment. Whether you're eating a meal, taking a walk, or having a conversation, truly engage in what you're doing. Notice the small details, the taste of your food, the feel of the ground beneath your feet, or the tone of the other person's voice. By immersing yourself fully in these moments, you anchor yourself in the present, which helps ease attachments to both the past and the future. Mindful activities can greatly improve your ability to stay present. Meditation, for example, trains your mind to focus on the here and now. Even simple breathing exercises can bring your attention back to the present moment. Try dedicating just a few minutes daily to these practices. Over time, you'll find yourself less distracted by regrets from the past or anxieties about the future. Living in the present also means appreciating what you have right now. Cultivate gratitude for the small moments and simple pleasures in life. Shifting your focus from what's missing to what's abundant can transform your perspective and make it easier to let go of attachments that weigh you down. By embracing the present moment, you build a foundation of emotional stability and clarity. This foundation allows you to face life's challenges with a calm, focused mind, experiencing life more fully and joyfully. Rule number 7, reframe your thoughts. Reframing your thoughts is a powerful technique for emotional detachment. It involves changing how you perceive and interpret situations, helping you break free from negative thought patterns and emotional dependencies. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." By changing your thoughts, you change your emotional state and your overall outlook on life. Start by identifying negative thoughts that keep you stuck in attachment. These might be beliefs like, "I can't live without this person, I'll never find someone else," or "My happiness depends on them." Such thoughts create feelings of dependency and helplessness. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward freeing yourself. The first step to changing these thoughts is to challenge them by questioning their validity. Ask yourself, is this thought absolutely true? What evidence do I have to support this belief? Often you'll find that these thoughts are exaggerated or unfounded. This realization weakens their hold on your emotions. Once you've identified and challenged your negative thoughts, replace them with positive or neutral ones. Instead of saying, I can't live without this person, try, I am capable of finding happiness and fulfillment on my own. Instead of, I'll never find someone else, say, there are many opportunities for love and connection in my future. These new thoughts should reflect a more balanced and empowering perspective. To reinforce these new thought patterns, practice daily affirmations. Write down positive statements about yourself and your ability to thrive independently. Then read them aloud each day. Over time, these affirmations help rewire your brain to adopt a more positive outlook. Additionally, mindfulness techniques like meditation support your efforts to reframe your thoughts. Mindfulness helps you become aware of your thought patterns without judgment, allowing you to observe and change them more effectively. Reframing your thoughts is not a one-time effort, but an ongoing practice. By consistently challenging and changing your negative beliefs, you build emotional resilience and gain greater control over your reactions. This shift in mindset fosters inner strength and detachment, empowering you to move forward with confidence and clarity. Rule number 8, set healthy boundaries. Do you struggle to say no or set limits with others? Establishing healthy boundaries is crucial for emotional detachment. Boundaries protect your well-being and give you control over your emotional space. Identify which behaviors are acceptable and which are not, and communicate these clearly to others. By respecting your own limits, you reinforce your self-worth and reduce dependency on others for validation or happiness. When you set boundaries, you define the line between where you end and another person begins. This practice is essential to protect yourself, helps prevent emotional entanglement, and promotes a sense of autonomy. For instance, if someone's behavior is causing you stress, calmly but firmly express your need for space or a change in interaction. This isn't about pushing people away, but about protecting your mental and emotional health. As you establish these limits, remember that boundaries are a form of self-respect. They signal to others that you value yourself and your needs. Over time, consistent boundary setting helps you cultivate healthier relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. It's a proactive step toward emotional independence, ensuring that your peace of mind isn't contingent on the actions or approval of others. By setting and maintaining healthy boundaries, you create a safe, emotional environment where you can thrive. This empowers you to focus on your own growth and well-being, fostering a stronger sense of self and enhancing your overall quality of life. Rule number 9, engage in self-care. When was the last time you did something just for yourself? Engaging in self-care is essential for emotional detachment and building a resilient, independent life. Seneca emphasized the importance of personal well-being, stating that a sound mind in a sound body is a short but full description of a happy state in this world. Self-care means prioritizing activities that nurture your body, mind, and spirit. Physical exercise, for instance, not only improves your health but also releases endorphins that elevate your mood. Meditation and mindful practices help center your thoughts and reduce stress, promoting mental clarity and emotional stability. Hobbies and passions play a crucial role in self-care. Whether it's painting, reading, gardening, or playing an instrument, these activities provide joy and fulfillment, making you less reliant on others for happiness. Additionally, spending quality time with loved ones who support and uplift you reinforces your sense of community and belonging. Self-care is about creating a balanced lifestyle that supports your well-being. By taking care of yourself, you build a strong foundation that allows you to face life's challenges with greater resilience and peace. It empowers you to detach emotionally from others, not out of coldness, but from a place of inner strength and self-assuredness. Prioritizing self-care is a crucial step in nurturing a fulfilling, independent life. Rule number 10, practice gratitude. Have you ever noticed how focusing on what you lack can deepen your attachment to what you don't have? Practicing gratitude can profoundly shift your perspective, helping you emotionally detach from someone. By actively acknowledging and appreciating the positive aspects of your life, you cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. Gratitude allows you to see the true value in what you already possess, diminishing the perceived need for what you think you're missing. For example, make it a daily habit to write down 3 things you're grateful for. These could be as simple as a sunny day, a supportive friend, or a good meal. This practice redirects your focus from what is absent to what is present and fulfilling in your life. The philosopher Epicurus wisely noted, "Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember, what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for." This timeless wisdom encourages us to cherish our current blessings instead of fixating on what we lack. Gratitude not only enhances your emotional well-being, but also creates a buffer against the pain of detachment. As you build the habit of gratitude, you'll find it easier to release attachments that no longer serve you, paving the way toward a more peaceful and contented life. Thank you all so much for the love, support, and for taking the time to listen to and follow this channel. Your encouragement means more than words can express. It's the driving force that keeps me going every single day. I'll continue to learn, grow, and do my best to share meaningful, uplifting content that's worthy of your time and trust.